I'm just glad that things actually worked out the way they were supposed to. You know, that should be worrying because there's so many mistakes this guy makes, bro. And it happened again.
Told me slow down. I said, watch it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. I am Cannula Tones, and today we'll be talking about the situation of going over to the finals with Arsenal. Okay. While I was watching this game, I was absolutely impressed by the formation, actually. Lewis Skelly, Calafiori, and in front, old Trossard on the left. In the middle, you have Gyökeres, and then you have Rice, and then obviously Saliba and Gabriel in centre back, and then over on the right side, you have Saka, you have Eze, which I didn't expect. That's an interesting combo. But then, like, I'm trying to think, what if? Point is, it looked like a threat, man. But they didn't. I feel like they could have done a lot more with the threat, and I appreciated the chance that they created, the chances that they created. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but anyways, I wanna kind of get into this and see what's up.
Arsenal have found a way. After a dramatic game at the London Stadium, a Leandro Trossard goal and VAR drama put Arsenal only 2 wins away from a Premier League title. So from the controversial refereeing decision to why David Raya deserves more respect, a game-changing cameo from Martin Odegaard, and the real truth of what this means for the title race. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from West Ham 0, Arsenal 1.
Oh man, he broke it down to the core, man. What can I start with? Let's start with the VAR. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared, man. Like the mates I was chilling with while we were watching soccer, like they actually could feel that I was scared, and I was, man. I was scared because VAR doesn't normally go our way. I was like, okay, like, are we gonna get screwed again? Like, it's so obvious that Raya got dropped, bro. So he got held and he got dropped. But like at the same time, I'm like, no, it's possible that we're gonna lose because we always lose these things for some reason. Point is, I was worried, and it happened. You know, I'm just glad that things actually worked out the way they were supposed to. Interestingly enough, I had a conversation with the mates earlier that day. Well, I said there were 3 players who were gonna score. And out of the 3, it was the one scored, which was Trossard. Odegaard ended up assisting, which we're gonna just talk about in a few minutes. I would love to see that combination a lot more, Trossard and Odegaard. That was I don't think I've seen enough of that. I want to talk about Raya, real quick. We were having a conversation, right, with my mates while we were watching the game, and I mentioned something after the game, and this was in particular to the foul. But then I appreciate what Pablo did for us, you know. Truly good stuff, you know, good stuff. Yeah.
Starting off with the first thing, and as a referee got it right, and I'm not trying to hear it any other way. In a game that Arsenal took the lead, they were 1-0 up, they found a goal out of somewhere. 95 minutes on the clock, Arsenal fans were starting to dream. Have Arsenal got the 3 points? Surely that's going to be it. But after a world-class Gabriel block, West Ham had the corner. Then came the absolute madness. Into the box it goes, Raya misses the catch. Callum Wilson strikes the ball through so many different players, and
I am so sorry. Can I please cut you off real quick? Bro! Oh my goodness. Yo! Guys, Mosquera. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Like, guys, Mosquera, he hurts my feelings, bro. Like, he hurts my feelings, dog. For the mere fact, Loguti, I was more comfortable that Ben White was on the field rather than Mosquera. That should say a lot. That should be worrying because there's so many mistakes this guy makes, bro. And it happened again. Like, I don't understand, bro. Like, I don't get it, dog. I don't get it. If White is injured, I'm hoping Timber gets back soon. Because right now, Mosquera, I'm sorry, I don't trust him on that side.
Goes over the line. The commentators go crazy, the West Ham fans go crazy. Only for us to catch live. As the replay showed David Raya potentially being fouled, West Ham forward Pablo holding Raya's arm across his neck. Then came VAR's biggest decision in Premier League history. Because you only have to understand the stakes behind this game. West Ham, a team fighting for their lives, Arsenal, a team fighting for a league title. Both these teams needed something. Thank God VAR had the cojones to give Arsenal that decision. Because there anyone in the comments, there any rival fan that claims this was not a foul, just look at this image here. You cannot hold a goalkeeper's arm while he's trying to catch the ball and not think you're going to give away a foul. Yes, you can talk about Declan Rice holding Mavropanos, that's also a foul. But the Raya foul happens first, and it's not just him obstructing the goalkeeper. It's the fact that he's holding Raya's arm as he's trying to catch the ball. Not to mention Tajuba behind him also holding Raya back. There was two different angles that show a clear foul. So I'm not trying to hear any other narrative because the referee got it right. With even Trossard saying after, David said straight away it has to be no goal, and then I was confident. But I don't think Arsenal fans share that confidence. Years of VAR breaking our heart, decisions going against our favour. For me, as soon as that goal went in, my heart dropped. I went absolutely silent until I saw the replay. Any argument that I'm seeing about this not being a foul, it's from salty rival fans that spent 95 minutes watching Arsenal, hate watching Arsenal, celebrated the West Ham goal like their team had won the title, only for VAR to correctly disallow the goal. And that's why Arsenal fans get used to it. You're going to hear these narratives. Arsenal got favoured by the referee, Arsenal got lucky. When you're going for your first league title in 22 years, I don't think any Arsenal fan cares. The idea that...
Yesterday, I saw someone say, the Arsenal. And I don't understand, like, how it came back to us, bro. Like, it was a decision that was rightly made. I forgot to also mention the what you call the t-shirt pulling, but yeah, dog, like a lot happened with Raya. Like they were trying to hide all these things, they failed. Pablo just made it even more obvious. You know what I'm saying?
So many hate watchers locked into this game, only for that goal to be disallowed. It was such a satisfying thought. For Arsenal, they deserve this victory, and it all goes down to the big moments. Think about a title race when your name's written on that title. Your big players have to stand up in your big moments. From Gabriel's title-winning block in the 94th minute, Trossard's goal to win the game in the 82nd, or of course that big gargantuan moment from David Raya in the 78th minute. As Arsenal won 1-0 for the 7th time this season, showcasing the art of winning 1-0, we have now kept 31 clean sheets in total this season. That is more clean sheets than Liverpool, Chelsea, United and Spurs all have total wins. Arsenal have also now gone the entire season with 0 red cards and 0 penalties conceded. Of course it helps when you have these two monsters at the back, but the flowers, my friends, you have to give to David Raya. Having now kept 18...
Like, I'm serious, guys. Like, you guys need to give more respect to David Raya. Like, I don't understand how he's not respected, bro. So, like, for the mere fact that I mentioned to my mates, nah, you gotta respect Raya, dog. You gotta respect Raya. Like, they were like, nah. They mentioned they mentioned other keepers like Alisson and you know, I was like, cool, bro, it's cool. Cause like I even described my hate at that time, my hate for let me not say hate, my dislike for him. I didn't want him at the club because he was taking Ramsdale's position. And next thing, I'm seeing Reyes hopping in, taking over Ramsdale's position. Oh no, Ramsdale's leaving. You know, one thing is leading to the next. I'm not happy about all of this stuff. But at the same time, I'm seeing his performance. But I'm like, no, man. So sometimes, something, I won't lie, I will have to admit. You see, when Ray hopped in, I was not confident because I was not confident because my favorite keeper was at risk. We needed to move forward because there's some things that needed to change. You know? You need to respect Raya, man.
Premier League clean sheets this season. He has won the Golden Glove for the 3rd consecutive year. In a moment that time stood still, Matheus Fernandes broke into the Arsenal box one-on-one with the Arsenal goal. With the back
I mentioned this stop to my mates. I said, no guys, you gotta say something about this. Come on, man. Come on. Nah. They said this ain't nothing. I was like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Back of the net waiting to ripple, rival fans waiting to celebrate. But David Raya had a different plan, showing the elite composure of a world-class goalkeeper, standing tall until the very last minute and making a fantastic save with his leg. With an overall 7.4 server score rating and keeping a clean sheet, 3 saves and a 0.79 goals prevented. When we talk about Arsenal's player of this season and the best player in the Premier League, Declan Rice, Gabriel and Saliba are all gonna be in that conversation. But there's a reason why David Raya was also voted as a potential Football Writers Player of the Year. Just think about how insane that is. A goalkeeper playing at a top club keeping clean sheets, with 2 of the best centre-backs in world football in front of him. We often give praise to the attacking players and the amount of times they win Arsenal games of football. But in this game, I would say it loudly and clearly, it was won because of David Raya.
We're in a position where David Raya is a last man. What happens there? And guess what? There are 3 saves in this game, bro. But then, you know what?
Even in terms of that foul right to the end, I firmly believe if his arm isn't held, he catches that ball. And we're not even talking about any West Ham goal to start off with. But do you believe the referee got it right? And do you agree with the sentiment that David Raya has to be up there as our player of the season? Moving on to the second thing, and that's respect Martin Odegaard. In a game that came alive from minute 78 to minute 83, after a world-class David Raya save, we talked about your big players turning up in these big moments, and there was no better example than the captain Martin Odegaard. In a game that he came off the bench and he wasn't even starting, if Arsenal can finish the job and get themselves over the line, that Martin Odegaard 3 minutes of madness simply will.
I loved every moment of what I saw, because the thing is, I know Odegaard's capabilities, but then his form has just been absolutely off, man. After that assist, he dropped down on his knees, and that celebration, man, did you see that joy? Man, I was happy for him.
Will not be forgotten, because this guy locked in, dropping a 6.9 rating off the bench, assisting the Arsenal winner with 1 key pass and 9 accurate passes. We all knew how West Ham were going to play. They were going to be deep, they were going to be defensive. And in the first half where Eze was trying his best to manoeuvre around, there was not a single profile in this squad at full flow that is better at operating in those tight spaces like Martin Odegaard. Because he's in that specific game state where the captain simply comes alive. And just think about the conversations that we've had to bear. Martin Odegaard, a long-term Arsenal captain, a man that arrived back in 2021 and changed how he played. You can talk about Declan Rice, Gabriel being more vocal leaders, but sometimes the loudest statement a player can make is his football. And Martin Odegaard's football sent a very clear statement today. The score was locked at 0-0 and he was not going to let this slip. He wanted that title, so he took it by the balls. And it wasn't just getting an assist, it was the way that he orchestrated everything out of nothing. Maneuvering in tight spaces, gliding past players. This was our hardest remaining Premier League fixture by a country mile. If Arsenal do get themselves over the line now, history will remember Martin Odegaard as the player that when the going got tough, he turned up, made sure he demanded the ball and made sure things happened.
All I can say is that let's just see what's gonna happen next. I keep hearing, we won the title from some of the rival fans as well. You know, guys, we haven't won. Not by a long shot. Ladies and gentlemen, I have been Canula Tones. Make sure to subscribe. Click on that notification bell. Let me know what you think about this video. If you want to check out the rest of this video, I will make sure to click to leave the link in the description below. Make sure to follow Bass14. Absolutely great commentary and breakdown analysis of most of the stuff that I would typically hear about Arsenal. Shout out to him. Peace.